We're almost done with our single template now. We do want to add a best practice here. So if you recall, for the header, which we pull into pretty much any page that we want to, we added a body class. That was a chunk of PHP code that allows us to target particular pages. What happens is that chunk of PHP code adapts based on which page we are on. It changes based on which page we're on. And so we need to do the same thing with single. You'll see what I mean if you've kind of forgotten what the body class does. So what I'm going to do is right here inside of this loop, so right here and above the end while, we're going to create another div. So we'll say div, and then we'll close that div over here, and we'll tab all of this stuff inside that div inward. Okay, and now inside this div, we're going to add a little chunk of PHP code. We're going to do PHP, and then the closing PHP tag. Notice there's two closing angle brackets there. This one is for the div. This one is for the actual PHP tag, and I'll space it out so you can see it. So this is a nested PHP tag inside of this actual opening div tag. And in here, we're going to say post underscore class, just like that, with our semicolon. So now if I save that, and I go over here to my post and refresh, make sure your server is running, and then I right click and I hit inspect, you'll see we're getting all of this information here. Post number 21. What type of post is it? Well, it's the blog post type. Status is published, and so on. So we're getting all of this useful data just injected in, and this is going to be unique to every single blog post that we have. If I navigate to a different blog post, you'll see it's post number 5, and status is published, and so on. So I just wanted to show that this is a best practice. This allows us to now use CSS, and we can target .post21 and only affect this particular post if we wanted to. Let's say we had some images in here and we wanted to kind of control the sizing just for this particular post. We could do that because now we have a way of identifying just this particular post. So the cool thing about using this post class, injecting that in, is that it generates and it adapts based on which post we're looking at in the browser. And there's one other thing that you'll see a lot of people do is you add this ID and set that equal to another value, and inside of there we'll say post and then dash and then in PHP here. So there's a lot of PHP being nested inside of this one tag. And here we'll say the underscore ID with capital letters, just like that. So you want to make sure you got that line exactly right, otherwise you'll have an error. And then if I save this now, and I go over here to my post and I refresh, now all of my individual blog posts have an ID as well, and that just allows me to target it in CSS as well. It's just another way to target it and really identify which post we're talking about in our CSS or JavaScript or whatever. Okay, so these are just best practices. So just by adding that, we now have unique identifiers on every single post that we visit in our blog.